Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Oak Life Show, episode number 8? 8. Don't know. I think it's 8. Pretty sure if it's 8. If it's not, we'll change it in the thingamahoo, in the title, so you'll see it. Guys, I attended the Complete Human Performance seminar this weekend in Cary Grove, hosted by Dr. Anthony. He was phenomenal with everything. My biggest takeaway, specifically out of the nutrition realm, was he spoke in so many different directions in the way of talking about nutrition and what people can do. And basically it comes down to there is no one right way that's going to work for everyone. Some people get along better with doing some type of calorie thing. Some people, counting calories and doing the little, MyFitnessPal thing on the phone. Some people are better at just counting straight macros. Some people can really get results just by stopping eating Doritos. Which sounds like you're cutting off an arm or something like that. Just terrible things. Some people can just work out and get results. Like it's funny how different people are. And so I was talking to Molly earlier, in the way of like, 'cause it's very broad. Like it's because now we don't have a platform to stand on in the way of what we really believe in when it comes to nutrition. But I was reminded of I'm Precision Nutrition Level 1 certified, which means something or not something too. But they had an article, and this is not a new article at all. But I just really like this. It's called body type eating, and Ryan Andrews has this thing, and I think this is genius. Basically, eating for your body type, and different people are built in different ways. If you want to think of kind of like a football team, okay, you have your ectomorphs, your little safeties and DBs, who are these little skinny guys, okay? Or maybe if this is a track and field team, it's the 2-milers, it's the distance kids. Okay, those are your ectomorphs. Your endomorphs are your big linemen, or they're your throwers, your shot put, your discus throwers, big strong. And then you kind of have your mesomorphs, which are kind of in the middle. Okay, so this is kind of like your linebacker, your running back, kind of a nice just middle ground. Does that show up okay? Can you see that?
Yeah, let's see it.
Okay, so here's the thought: is that depending on who you are, you're going to eat differently based on kind of how you're wired up to go. If an ectomorph eats like an endomorph, it could be bad for them, or vice versa. If an endomorph eats like an ectomorph, it could be bad for them. So really, in essence, what they're saying here, and I'm summarizing here for you just to make this easier, your ectomorphs, your skinny cross-country kids, okay, are probably going to eat more carbs in the way of, carb-dense foods, in the way of like fruit, in the way of any type, like a rice, brown rice, white rice, potatoes, stuff like that. They're probably going to get away with eating more of that, probably less of the fat. While your throwers, your bigger, stronger people, are probably going to need more fat, but less of the carb. Okay? So a lot of times they end up being very carb efficient, and they just don't need much carb. If they get too much carb, they can get way too big than probably what they want to be. Okay? And then the last thing here is that your mesomorph, so kind of in the middle here, your Serena Williams, your Reggie Bush here, kind of like the running back, linebacker, middle of the road person. It probably just needs kind of a balance of fat with their carbs. Okay, not too much of one, not too little of the other, just kind of a nice little balance. And this, again, is going to depend on who you are, what your goals are. Are you trying to lose weight? Are you trying to gain weight? How active are you? How many times a week can you work out, or do you work out? So many variables come into play. And so I just want to think back to this seminar this weekend. It just, if they hit the nail on the head, is that there's really not one right way for anybody. And I wish we had something in which to stand on and put our flag and say, hey, this is what we do and this is how we do it, but we don't. It's very individualized to who you are and what you do, and yeah, it's hard. Molly brought up a good point. Can I say you brought up a good point?
Yes.
Molly brought up a good point about she doesn't really know what a portion is. It's like when people are eating portions, we really don't know. So we figured Molly is probably a mesomorph. She's just kind of middle of the road. She's not a cross country runner, but she's not a shot putter. She's kind of right in the middle. Okay, for Molly, for being a female. Now, what Precision Nutrition does, and I think this is gold. You should check them out. PrecisionNutrition.com. Most people have hands. Okay, and the nice thing with hands is that you take them with you wherever you go. And so it's a nice way in which to eyeball to make sure that you're eating relatively balanced. Now if you think about it, I'm going to close the door. It's getting loud. And we're back. You can weigh and measure your food. You can have your little food scale. Okay, and you can weigh the food, and then you can enter it in your phone, and how many grams of this you ate and stuff like that, and that's fine. And if you want to do that, there's nothing wrong with that. That's probably really effective for some people, and I'm not bad mouthing at all. You can find out your macros and run with that route. That's fine. What we think is possibly an easier way, okay, is using your hand. Okay, we think that everyone should probably have some type of protein, some type of like denser carbohydrate, so whether that be fruit or whether that be like berries type thing, or whether that be like rice or potato or something like that. Everybody needs some type of fat, and then everybody needs some type of vegetable. Okay? If you have those 4 things, you're probably doing really, really well. Okay. Now the question is how much of those things. Okay. So there's my hand. Molly, you want to bring your hand in the camera? Look at that. Did you get it? Look at that. If you notice, my hand is bigger than Molly's hand.
No, my hand looks bigger.
No, my hand is bigger than Molly's hand. I'm a bigger person. A portion for me is probably going to be different than a portion for Molly. Okay. So we have this, kind of portions for women here. What Molly's probably going to want to eat is one of her palms of meat. Okay, some type of protein-dense food. I say meat, but any type of protein-dense food. If you cut off the fingers and thumb, hey, palm, you should eat 1 palm of meat if you're, a mesomorph woman. No. Okay, you should eat about a thumb of fat. Okay, whether that be almonds or coconut oil or, I really like the Kerrygold butter. I'm a big fan of that. But just a thumb, not like many thumbs and fingers, like just 1 little thumb, okay? It's really not that many almonds. I know people try to get, I'm eating my almonds, I'm staying healthy. Yes, if you eat 60 almonds, okay, it's like 5 billion, calories. It's not 5 billion, it's much less than that, but way too many calories, and that's no good. So we want to kind of limit the fat, but you want some fat in, obviously in the diet. A cup, we want a cupped handful, there we go, of some type of carb-dense food. Again, this is your potato, sweet potato. It could be fruit, berries, rice. Did I say rice? I might have said rice. But just a little, cup, what you can fit in a cupped hand. Not like cupped, okay, but just cup. And that's your portion of your carb-dense food. And then you have your vegetables, which there are carbs and vegetables, just not a lot of carbs and vegetables, okay? But a portion of vegetables is a fist. Okay, so like a fist big. Eat that in salad or broccoli or asparagus or whatever it may be. Something like that. With the thought being, this is probably a pretty nice place for Molly to start. Okay, she has a palm of protein, thumb of fat, cup of carb, fist of veggies. She's at a pretty good place. Okay, if she's male, it's weird. If you're male, you might want to double that. Okay, men usually eat about twice what women do, give or take. Depends the size of the guy and stuff like that, so don't, whatever. But again, this is kind of relative. Guys might do 2 palms of meat, 2 fists of veggies, 2 hand cupfuls of dense protein, or dense carb, sorry, and then 2 thumbs of fat. Okay, now this is different. If you are like you have abnormally large hands, okay, maybe you have to scale this down a little bit. Maybe you have abnormally small hands. This is getting weird, but maybe you have to scale it up a little bit. Maybe Molly eats this and she is still starving. Okay, she probably wants to eat a little bit more. But this is just kind of a baseline, like, hey, we establish where you are. Let's see how you look, feel, and perform. Okay, if you feel good, great. If you're performing, like if you're going out and doing all the things that you want to do, if you can walk the dog and if you have energy, if you go into the gym and you have energy, you go and play with the kids and you have energy, well then great. Okay? Look, feel, and perform. How do you look? Okay, are we improving body composition in the direction that you want it to? Okay, if you're trying to gain weight, you probably have to expand out these calories, these portions a little bit. If you want to lose weight, you probably might have to bring them down a little bit. But again, we just kind of want consistency. But it's hard in our busy lives to take this, weigh and measure it, especially if you go out to eat. Holy cow! You bring your little food scale out to eat. All of a sudden, you got to enter it in the fat. It gets really, really hard. But if you can eyeball it and kind of know that for 4 things, carb, protein, fat, and some type of vegetable, that you need that, this, or palm, it ends up being pretty easy. So, anywho, this is kind of my thought, guys. It's so hard to tell people where to start. Again, this is why this ends up being so individual, because some people are wired up to be offensive linemen, some people are wired up to be running back, and then some people are meant to run marathons, and not all those people are going to eat the same exact way. Okay, and you're unique and different in your situation, and I'm different. I don't eat the same way as Molly does. It's nice to be 19. I wish I was 19. I'd be could eat anything really. I could eat those Doritos, and life would be good. But again, that nutrition and how you eat and macros and what people are have food sensitivities to or not have food sensitivities to are unique to them and their situation. So you really have to kind of experiment or get guidance from someone who has this like bird's eye view and can kind of see the whole thing and can make little adjustments to you and where you're at. And I say little adjustments, I mean something that actually builds habits, not just rips the Band-Aid right off and you're good for a month, but then you fall off the wagon and whatnot. Because we don't want this to be a on the wagon, off the wagon thing. We want this to be a lifelong thing where you're constantly improving and constantly striving to where you want to be. And then once you get to where you want to be, it's easy to maintain that. Not like Biggest Loser style where you lose 100 pounds but then gain 150 back, because that's no good. Molly, did I cover everything?
Yeah, in 12 minutes.
In 12 minutes?
Yeah.
So this one was long.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thanks for watching.